Welcome back. You're watching Business Morning on Channels Television. We're talking about ethics in business now. My next guest is an estate surveyor and valuer, and he's also the district governor of Rotary District 9110 Nigeria, Bola Ono Badejo. Good morning to you, and thank you for coming on the program.
Good morning. Thank you.
So we're talking about ethics in business, and I'm, pretty interested in knowing what you being an estate surveyor and the president of the Rotary Club of Rotary District 9110 Nigeria. Well, you're talking about a lot of capital projects coming on stream this year, because that's where the federal government is talking about, focusing more attention, even though we still see that just 30% of the budget that has been allocated to capital projects for 2016. But let's talk about how using, being ethical in how we run our business can actually benefit us, or ensure that most of those projects that we're going to embark on are completed as at when due.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Let me start by telling you that this month, January, is a special month that Rotary International has designated towards ethics in business. And since 1910, Rotary has been in the vanguard of actually leading in ethics, teaching Rotarians ethics and all this, how to do their businesses. So what we are doing today is just part of this system. But coming to ethics itself, ethics means so many things to different people, depending on their way of life, their philosophy, their culture, and so on and so forth. But generally, you can see that ethics are a set of rules, personal behaviors, that must be accepted by the society. So if we look at it from that background, and looking at it that we can have personal ethics, we can have organizational or corporate ethics, and so on and so forth. So talking about ethics on the Nigerian context, you are talking about corporate governance. You are talking about integrity in governance. And what we have been seeing, which is actually subject in the news these days, it shows that we don't have good integrity. We don't practice ethics, even at the government level, from the corruption level. These are things that manifest when ethics are not properly followed.
So let's talk about how it affects public-private partnership, because that's what we're going to be seeing a lot of. As an estate surveyor and evaluator, the Minister of Power, Works and Housing has a lot to do, since his portfolio is a very large one. And he's coming in at a time when there's a deficit in housing and, of course, in power. So there's so many plans. He's come out with a 13-point agenda, of course, with regards to power. But then, for your own field now, which is housing.
Yes, which is real estate sector.
Real estate.
Yes.
Let's talk about what practical policies or plans can actually come out, looking at it in the context of being ethical in the way we behave. You talked about rules and personal behaviors, and these are very important for you to have a very good business, especially with regards to real estate.
Yes. Now let's look at it from this point of view. Let's look at housing. Right now, studies say that Nigeria is in deficit of about 15 to 20 million units of housing accommodation. And therefore, the immediate task is to increase the level. And in doing this, government cannot do it alone. And that brings in the issue of private and public partnership. The problem we have is that most of our actions are not ethical. We do a lot of things. Most of our deals are under the table. For instance, if you want to build more houses, you need contractors. You need to give them contract. You need to agree on a particular sum of money. The experts in cost, the consumers will come in and cost this, how much these buildings will cost, and you want to give the buildings, the projects, to the right person. You look at it from there. Select even the right contractors to do the work. A lot of unethical practices. Integrity is sacrificed. The best contractor may not get the job. If, for instance, it doesn't belong to a particular sector, of government. He may not get the job if he's not prepared to play ball. This has been the traits in the past. The issue of inflated contracts, contract that normally would not cost more than 1 million, they will be taking it for 20 million. All these are issues of ethics. And until we actually get it right, until we say that even if my enemy is the one that can do the job better, I will give it to him. Not that because it's my sister or my brother, I give it to him. These are issues of ethics, morals, integrity. They are not there. And we need them a lot to actually put Nigeria back to its rightful place, whether in the public sector, in power sector rather, or housing. You see what happened when they were selling the power stations. A lot of unethical things happened, which are known to many people. The right people will not buy. Those who will even buy will not have the money to pay. So these are issues that are very important and germane for people in government to make sure that they practice ethical conducts.
So now, in your own opinion, what role can individuals play? Because you've mentioned that individuals have to be as ethical as possible in their dealings. And we're looking at a time when there's major contraction on the economy, there's hardship biting everywhere, but it doesn't mean that the issues that need to be solved have reduced. We still have power issues, we still have housing issues, we still have infrastructure issues. So what can be done?
It starts from the individuals, as you say. If you are talking of even ethical revolution, it has to start with individuals. The individuals should actually learn to do things the normal way, the correct way, without cutting corners. What do I mean? Look at our traffic system. People don't obey traffic laws. And most of the time, they get away with it. So tomorrow they will practice it. So when the institutions are put there for people to do the right thing, then people must comply. Look at the era of this Buhari and Idiago. People were starting to queue. They were doing things normally because the leadership started with themselves. So I want to appeal to Nigerians that we should learn to do things the right way, do our business the right way, not under the table, conduct our affairs, even in our private offices, the right way. People in human resources, they employ, they train, they do a lot of things. Are the right people being employed? So these are issues that are very germane.
You might not have the right people employed for maybe a particular position, but then what happens to you? Nothing stops you from training such ones to ensure that you get them to conform with what exactly that particular organization requires at that time.
Yes, but if the foundation is faulty, what can the righteous do? If right from the beginning you employ the wrong set of people, it means you have to spend more resources in training them. And of course, you won't get the best out of them. So that's why I say start from the beginning. The beginning is very, very important. So what I will actually recommend is what Rotary has come up with called the FourWay Test. The FourWay Test of the things
we do and
think, say, or do. And they're just very very short. 1, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all? If the answer is yes, the damn thing you are saying will be correct. That thing you are thinking will be correct. That thing you want to do will be correct. So this has been the pattern in Rotary since 1932, when a Rotarian called Herbert developed this. And he developed it for business. There was a company that was ailing, and in order to resuscitate that company, he developed this FourWay Test. And 2 years later, in 1934, Rotary International took it up as a concept. It has been the concept, the real pivot on which ethics are built.
A lot of people will argue with you that probably at the time the four-way test was actually written, things were a little better. You weren't having to struggle with basically everything to try to make your businesses work. So at this time, when you're trying to handle currency pressures, you're looking at the government for policy direction with regards fiscal policies and the rest of it, and you're thinking to yourself that I'm a little business that's just trying to stay afloat. I just have what? Barely up to 1 million, and I have just 1 or 2 staff. How am I going to? Why should I be ethical in my dealings, especially since I know that I want to make a profit of what, another 500 or 700,000 in the next couple of months?
That is the issue we are talking about. To start with, when this four-way test concept came in, it was a period of lull. So this man, there was this company that was very sick, and he brought it in. He applied it to their customer relation, to their marketing, and everything became, that company bounced back. It shows it was a right concept. So for individuals, it is still best not to cut corners. Even from the government point of view, from biblical point of view. Contentment with godliness, he says, is a very great gain. We need to do things the normal way. You don't need to make 700 million naira profit. Make the normal profit. Do things the right way. That's what we are preaching.
Well, Mr. Otumba Bola Onabadejo, thank you so much for coming on the program this morning and giving us your thoughts on ethics in business.
Thank you very much.
Well, Business Morning continues in just a moment. The markets are open. We'll be talking to Rotimi Fakaijo, who is the CEO, Enterprise Stockbrokers and a trader with the Nigerian Stock Exchange, to get his perspective and analysis of what's going on at the markets at the moment. Join us again.